Welcome back to the Morning Blend, where we are cooking with Thunder Bay. I think there are two things that are fairly safe when it comes to pleasing most palates. That's chicken and pasta.
Today, Chef Mike Stigler is here to put them together for a special delicious meal. Welcome, Mike.
Good morning, ladies.
Hello, Mike.
Thanks for having me.
Smells good already, and you haven't even started cooking, really.
You bet, you bet. Yeah, we're making penne pasta with chicken sausage ragu.
Yum.
So
is this on the menu right now?
Yeah, this is on our dinner menu, actually. Starting at 4 o'clock, we serve this every day, so you can come on out to Thunder Bay anytime and get it. Yeah, it's a delicious dish, and I'm going to show you how we put it together.
All right, get it going.
All right, so we start off with a nice hot saute pan here, and to that we're going to add a little bit of olive oil, and you can hear that starting to get a little bit warm in there already. And then to that we are going to add some roasted mushrooms. Now these are portobello mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms, and button mushrooms that we roasted off in the oven with a little bit of garlic oil and some fresh rosemary.
I can smell
as well.
the rosemary.
Isn't that rosemary great? Now rosemary is what you like to call an aromatic herb because you get flavor from it not only from the actual herb being sauteed, but also obviously from the aroma of it. So it kind of hits you two different ways. It hits you on your palate when you're eating it, and then it hits you in your nose when you're smelling it. It kind of helps to add to the whole rosemary experience, right?
Right.
So we've got our roasted mushrooms. Then I added some Usinger's chicken sausage. Okay, so this is a little bit healthier option for your sausage. So this is sausage that's made with a little bit of mozzarella cheese and then some Italian seasoning. So it's a little bit leaner than what your traditional pork sausage would be, but it's still got a lot of really good flavor in it.
Kind of lower in fat, too.
Lower in fat, yep. Lower in cholesterol, but still got a lot of flavor. So we're going to saute all that stuff up together, and then to that we're going to add some sun-dried tomatoes. Now, sun-dried tomatoes, some people don't like them because of the fact that they say, they're chewy, you know, they taste like tomato jerky or something.
Yeah.
But the way to get around that is you take your sun-dried tomatoes and you get some really hot water, you cover them with the hot water and let them sit for like about 15 minutes until they get soft. Then you drain off your water and you're good to go, and you have some nice soft sun-dried tomatoes.
So they sort of rehydrate.
Yeah, they do. They rehydrate a little bit, they puff up, and they get a little bit softer. So then to that we're going to add a little bit of fresh chopped garlic. Get that in there as well. And you notice I didn't add the garlic in too soon because I don't want the garlic to burn. And when we're sauteing like this,
yeah, it tastes terrible.
It does. Burnt garlic, once you get burnt garlic in a dish, you got no choice but to toss it out. There's no getting around it. So then to that we're going to add a little bit of our chef salt, which is just salt, pepper with a little bit of garlic salt mixed in as well. That's sort of like an all-purpose seasoning that we use in the restaurant.
Okay.
Get that all tossing around really nice. And then to that we're going to introduce a little bit of Sauvignon Blanc, which is a nice white wine. Like the way I say that?
Yeah.
Almost like I know what I'm talking about or something. Huh?
Very convincing thus
Almost.
far.
So we're going to add that in there, and we're going to toss that all around and let that get all nice and delicious. And then to that, we are going to add our penne pasta. Now, we cook this penne pasta off ahead, obviously. And we're
Do you cook it al dente?
We cook it al dente. To the tooth, yes, definitely. To the tooth.
Because it's tricky. I mean, because I know most dishes recommend that, especially if you're adding it, you're going to be cooking it a little bit more. But it's kind of a fine line.
It is a fine line. I mean, the only way to really test it is to pull one out of the water with a slotted spoon and give it a taste. I mean, you want it to be to the tooth, which means you don't want it to be mushy, but at the same time, you want it to have a little bit of resistance when you bite through it as well. And if you're going to be doing it in a dish like this, where you plan on reheating it again a little bit more in the pan, you can undercook it a little bit because it's going to continue to cook in the pan as you put it in there.
Okay.
So now we're going to kind of build up a little bit of a pan sauce with what we've got going on in here. So we've got our olive oil and we've got our white wine. We're going to add a little bit of unsalted butter in there.
I was nervous you were going in there with all that butter. So
no.
It's nice and light.
I travel with extra butter.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen.
It makes everything better.
So we've got our butter in there, and then we're going to add a little bit of heavy cream in there. Now, if you were, calorie conscious, you could put half and half, or you could, if you wanted to be really, you could put skim milk or something like that, but that's going to really, cut into the flavor, and it's not going to be quite as delicious. So we're going to put a little bit of heavy cream in there, a little bit of butter, and all that sauteing really nicely. And then to that, we're going to add some chopped parsley so that we got a little bit of herbs going on in there as well. Let that all simmer together really nice, and then I'm going to go ahead and plate that up in this bowl over here and finish it off with a little bit of Manchego cheese.
It's delicious.
Manchego.
So we're going to take that.
So you pick Manchego. Does it stand up to the sausage and the sun-dried tomatoes?
Yeah, it really does. I mean, it's a hard cheese that grates up really nicely.
I did my preparation work.
I was going to say, Amy sounds like she knows what she's talking about.
Sounds like it.
Girl.
If you don't know it, fake it. That's what I always say. Fake it till you make it.
Exactly.
Then we're going to put a little bit of Manchego cheese right on top of there, and you can tell that's a nice hard cheese that grates up really well, and it's got a little bit of a salty punch to it. It's really delicious. A little bit of more fresh parsley on there, and then we finish that with a nice piece of crusty French bread, and there you have it.
That looks delicious. All right, we're going to taste it. I'm going to just mention a couple quick things. One is you're serving a corned beef platter all day on St. Patty's Day. That's Thursday, March 17th.
Sorry.
Do you recommend that people make a reservation for that?
Well, you know, you can if you want, or you can just come on in, because that's a day when, you know, that's really kind of a quick turnover on that corned beef platter. You know, some people will be serving it for lunch, so people want to come in for a business lunch, they can
lunch
have it,
too.
or they can come in at dinner and have it as well. But yeah, it's really delicious. Slow roasted, Guinness
You wanna go for
beer,
it, Mal, or-
bacon braised cabbage. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
That's
Okay,
delicious.
and then the other thing is Easter's just around the corner. Talk to us about that, because you've got a brunch going on. This is probably something people do want to make a reservation
Yeah,
for.
this is one of our biggest days of the year, and it's coming up on the 27th of March this year. Easter brunch.
Is on Sunday, right?
Yes, Sunday brunch, definitely. And we're going to be
man,
having
that's good.
chef carved prime rib, honey glazed ham, baked chicken. We're going to have grouper out there, smoked salmon, all the traditional breakfast favorites, you know, omelets made to order, waffles, French toast. We're going to have a champagne fountain out there. It's going to be elegant, delicious, beautiful, and we definitely recommend that you make your reservations ahead for that one.
Sounds fantastic. And that is happening Sunday, March 27th is Easter. And that is happening from 10 in the morning until 4 p.m. So you could go after church if that's part of your plans. You can sample all of that wonderful stuff. And don't forget about the corned beef platter all day, including lunch on St. Patty's Day. You can visit Thunder Bay in Pewaukee. We had the address up there, the website, and the phone number too. Great to see you, Mike.
Thank you very much
Thanks,
for having
Mike.
me. Appreciate it.
Delicious.